I'm doing a lot of quick jobs, and I figured, well, seeing as I'm touching one of these pieces of shit, I may as well show you why they are a piece of shit, alright? So just fucking enjoy. This whole thing weighs about the same as a Scotch egg. All I've got to do to this, rewire it to the front, chrono it, make sure the power's okay. Add a PEC box, done. Right, I want you to bear in mind, I have never opened this up. It is new. That's your barrel. Look at that. Tin foil, absolute tin foil. The rubber is in there. But yeah, I mean, literally, it's garbage. What the fuck is this? Full of metal filings, yet everything is plastic. So, what the fuck? You know, there's a first what the fuck. Like, there is no reason for this to be full of metal filings, because nothing on it is metal. Like, charging handles, sights, that is the only piece of metal aside from this spring. So why is it full of metal filings? You know? What the fuck? Oh, sorry, the outer barrel is metal, but that is it. That's the only thing. Oh, for crying out loud. Ah, you bastard. I hate that so much. Shit. No. You cuntbag. Brilliant! Like, even the plastic isn't properly moulded, you know? No, it's only a cheap gun, yeah, isn't it fucking just? Look, they nearly greased it, can you see that? Dicks. Here's why it's shit. Ready? That trigger. And I've got so many of these lying around because these gearboxes are so fucking terrible. That switch is sideways. Yeah? That is, I think, semi, and then that is full. So you've got proprietary parts, and you're stuck with it. You've got all this stuff here. Little sliders and doodahs, just fucking wank.
Wolf is saying how much he likes his Gladiator Duel game. Oh, he thinks the figures are great too. Especially the good-looking one. Gladiator Duel and Gladiator figures.
They're from Hornby, and they're wild!
So yeah, basically vom. Just fucking vom. It's disgusting and I hate it. It's just fucking awful. Apparently, it's never worked properly since the day he got it. He's done a little bit of tech work to himself. Still doesn't feed. Blah, 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 blah. He uses 7.4s. Let's see what happens with 7.4. The scope is fucking hilarious. When you look through it, things look further away. It's just fucking hilarious. I don't know how to get into it. So as you can see, the hot rubber is very exposed inside this hop unit. If you imagine the BBs are going to want to try and go down here, Once the nozzle's in there, it just can't fucking do it. So I've now put a 2-part lip in here. I've marked a line and I've taken away as much material as I can to leave a divot. But I've left a very thin flap. Very thin flap. That is never going to have any issues with a BB passing through it. But it's also going to hold and help retain that BB in the chamber. Now the way this motherfucker sits is interesting. It attaches to here. And then this sits in there and those screws hold it in place. This unit can then slide in there like that. So now when I drop BBs in here, they should drop straight in. Next we're going to modify this. I'm going to very briefly take this tool and I'm going to remove material from the back. Okay, there we go. Motherfucker! Fuck you! Okay. 432. 432. 431. 434. Now we're going to fit the 18:1 advanced gear sets. New selector plate, new piston, and this paraoptical MOSFET. I may change out his cylinder depending on what I think is going on with his barrel. I may not, but I'm definitely have to change out that fucking spring. Blah 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 blah. There's the finished article. Very tired. What do you want? The scope is so funny. Like everything is further away with the scope. It's the funniest fucking thing. As you can see, it is solid and it's good and it's happy. Let's pop that down. We now have Betadines. We've got the Perrin MOSFET. That is the first one of those I fitted. And you know what? That's not a bad little MOSFET actually. I like the way that performs. I didn't have the correct size screws just for these sort of final bits. Bit of a shame, but never mind. But it's happy. We've got a high torque motor. We've got an 18:1 internal bearing ZCI advanced gear set. You've seen me fit MOSFETs. You've seen me fucking put gears and stuff, and you need to see that stuff. Alright, this is more of a before and after. So let's give her a quick test, see what you think. The power is now 325. So we've lost, well actually about 100 feet per second, because it was just way too powerful for what we can do over here in the UK. Lovely and quiet. Full auto. I don't really get to talk about SRC guns much because people don't often buy them. But Star Rainbow are fucking terrible. They are not good. Like, they do stupid things. The proprietary hop unit that comes with this, and a hop, it's just garbage. It really is. The motors in these are fucking excellent, but this one was just burnt out. It wasn't doing very well. The piston was a little bit stripped, not much, but it was hanging, you know, it was hanging in there quite well. But there was a sorbo pad on the piston head, and as you can hear from that, sorbo pad is just not fucking required. I don't like XM8s. I think they are fucking ugly. However, because I've worked on this one, I do feel slightly more compelled to have one at some point, because it feels quite good to hold and shoot. It actually does feel quite good to hold and shoot. I'm impressed with it. I like the little things I've never really thought about before, like, you know, the sights here and in here. And I've never really thought about it much. It's not a horrible gun. It's not horrible, but I don't know. It's weightier than what you think, and it's pretty sturdy. My YouTube review. It's a good gun. It's heavy. There's not much wobble. It's gonna last a long time.
If you like Pornhub, you'll love Pornhub Live. Introducing Pornhub Live, the next level of your Pornhub experience. It's totally live. Sexually interactive.
This is the Spetsnaz arms that came in that was being really fussy. Doing it differently today. Check this out. There you go. OD base coat. So this one we're going to be doing a little bit weathered. It's dawned on me that I've never actually shown you guys what I do when I paint things. So, you know, you've seen 2 quick videos on things. So this is just how I paint things. I don't like doing like foresty camouflage. It's just so boring. But that's what I'm being paid to do on this one. So that's what I'm going to do. And I know that everyone's got their techniques. There's things you should and shouldn't do. A lot of people want to paint something that they can see and feel and there's something they recognise, and I don't do that shit. I have no plan for this gun whatsoever. I just want to see what's going to happen as I'm painting it. I have no idea how this is going to look until I'm finished, and I won't know that I'm finished until I like what I can see. The beauty of airbrushing is that you can do it in confined spaces. When you're using aerosol paints, you know, you can't just fucking sit inside and do that. It's not plausible, you know? All I know about this gun is that when it's done, I'm going to scrape away at the edges. So it's going to reveal all the underlayers and bare metal. And the beauty of doing it this way is that I can, if I were to scratch this away, it will turn white or grey, because the etch I use is grey, and that colour will then sort of shine through like a highlight. When I think I've done enough of one colour, I start to mix colours up, and I don't know which colours I'm going to use. So in this case, I'm adding a couple of dots of black and mist the airbrush completely. And I'm not going to mix the black either. I'm going to let it sit. Because I want it to change colour and mix itself up as it goes through the brush when it feels like it. I'm not doing a particular pattern or a particular colour scheme. Because the way I'm doing this one, it doesn't matter if paint rubs off or chips either, because it's going to have a war-torn finish when I'm done. I know fuck all about the military. Nothing. I'm not interested in it. It doesn't interest me in the slightest. So what I do know is from my friends that have served, when they've gone out and done things and you see these camouflaged guns in pictures, everyone tries to make this amazing pattern. You see it in films as well. And I've had the privilege of working on a few little films and big films where guns have needed camoing up, and I've got a chance to do that as well on for stage, you know, TV, and then big feature productions as well. And they make them look so particular, like I'm doing now. You know, you don't get this much time to do something, you know, if you're out there living in the fucking wilderness or whatever. You just get some old mud or some shit and you just attach it and you fucking smear it on your gun and that's it, right? If you look now, see how the colour's changing. You know, if I sit and select the colours and mix exact colours each time, it becomes uniform. If I don't mix the colours myself and I just keep adding different colours to it, There's no way that your colour scheme can become uniform. It becomes a proper mishmash of colours. So you sit and you watch these films and, you know, the guns always look fucking perfect and blah 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 blah. And it's a load of shit, it really is. But they do look good that way. They look good when they are particular. As you can see, the colour I'm using is now getting darker. So I'm going to take that moment to add shade to things that I think might need some shade. Comments I'm expecting, obviously, you know, what am I going to do to stop it chipping off? Nothing. This is going to get layers of varnish mixed in with the paint. It's literally going to get mixed in with the paint. I'm going to do aerosol varnishes over the top of it as well. And there's going to be all kinds of layers of varnish, but it ain't Cerakote, you know? There is no paint that is going to take up to a smacking. And I've got guns that I've Cerakoted in the past myself, and they don't last that long. The Cerakote does not last fucking long. It really doesn't. If you are rubbing it in out of the holster, it's going to come off. If you use things like Krylon, it does last a little bit longer, but you're limited in your colour and you're limited in your creativity. And I don't like to be limited in my creativity. It's all I've got. It's all I've got. My creativity is everything. If I don't have complete control, or control to a level that I'm willing to work to over the thing I'm painting, I ain't painting it. He showed me some pictures, the usual thing, some cunts laid down some fucking flowers and they've put 10 tons of fucking paint on their gun. And people like the look of that, and I think it looks like wank. But I don't want to do something that somebody else has done. I want complete creative control. Now I'm going to start mixing it up a little bit. Now that tan colour is about to go away any second. So I'm throwing some highlights on. You see, this is creating layers, just layers. Now chances are you're going to see any of this when I'm done. Because this is literally a base coat, this is a background colour. Here comes the darkness. Now I'm going to apply some shading, but I'm going to put the shading in certain raised areas because I want to know what happens. So what I'm doing now is almost like vines. And I don't want too many to join up. But I also need to be quite random as well. Here's where it gets fun. I've got to get in the gaps. And I'm literally painting the shadows that are coming off of that fucking light. Stencil time. The last stencil I did was on a guy's G&G where I painted the entire thing with one stencil that was cartoon cop shaped, which I was happy with, turned out quite well. I don't want exact leaf shapes. I think it looks amateur, and I think it looks tacky. You'll see them also going from every possible angle. I'm not going to stick to one angle. It also doesn't matter if the leaf blows around. Doesn't matter at all, because that is going to give you a shadow. It's you can kind of paint. You can paint clouds in the same way. You know, if you want to do clouds, clouds are a piece of piss. You know, you take your whole fucking hand and just like that, and then, you know, clouds are easy. Clouds are the easiest things you can fucking paint. Fire, the same. If you want to paint fire, if I was going to be doing fire, I'd be using a shape like that, and I'd literally be going round and moving it and giving it little whips. If you want some very definite shadows, leave it on there for a bit too long. You can't see the shadow you just painted when you're staring at light come from different angles, and when you take it away, you see it. That is when you see what you've just created. So if you go overboard, you can't see it, you know? I can't tell that how dark that is. When I take it away, as you can see, ready? It's not until you take it away that you can see what you've done. My favourite bit of this so far is this piece here. I like that. Now you can see why I was doing the raised areas in a darker colour and some of the deeper areas in a lighter colour, because now I've got depth. Depth has now been created. I want to do an actual leaf somewhere. I think that one. This is missing something here. So I think one exact leaf here could be useful. But only in 3 areas. And if I drag it down a little bit to here, but only in one place. And then get there, breaks it up. Obviously, black is the absence of all light, whereas, white is the absence of all darkness. And I like that without darkness, you cannot have any light. So now, by simply applying black, all of my highlights are about to stand up. Now the matte lacquer has brought out some of the greens to it, see? So there it is, boys and girls. What I did, I realised, yeah, okay, I liked it, but it needed more brown. It needed more brown. It needed something that made it a little bit different. So what I did is I just laid out a leaf on here and I sprayed white to get the leaf shape on the outside, and then I mixed up browns and blacks and things like that, and I layered it in starting from this side, moved it all the way in until it covered the white, and then I moved back out this way but slower so it turns almost black, and that runs across the entire thing. And again, I like to have different depths, and you can see that it's got that depth to it depending on which angle you look at it. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Very, 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 very pleased. Very pleased.